eve of the first anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the United Nations General Assembly overwhelmingly voted and approved a resolution demanding Russia to end hostilities in Ukraine and immediately withdraw its forces. During the vote in the 193-member United Nations General Assembly, 141 member nations voted in favor of the resolution. 7 opposed the resolution and 32 members, including India and China, abstained. G7 nations have raised the economic support to Ukraine to $39 billion and urged an IMF program for the country by the end of March. This action came after a meeting of the bloc's finance ministers and central bank governors on the eve of the war's first anniversary. Ukraine is hoping to clinch a $15 billion program with the IMF. This would cover immediate financial assistance and support for structural reforms. G7 members have gathered in India ahead of a meeting of financial chiefs of the G20. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg has stated that the war in Ukraine must bring an end to a cycle of Russian aggression that goes back much further than the invasion that Moscow launched a year ago. He added that the invasion was a part of a pattern that included Russian military action in Georgia in 2008 and Donbass and Crimea in Ukraine in 2014. Beyond providing Ukraine with munitions to help repel Russia's invasion, Stoltenberg stated that NATO allies have also begun talking to Kiev about a longer-term partnership. This includes helping Kiev to modernize its defense and security institutions and to move from Soviet-era equipment, doctrines and standards to their NATO equivalents. Almost a year after Russia launched the war against Ukraine, Ukrainian servicemen were seen holding their positions in the small eastern city of Bakhmut. It is the region Moscow's forces have made progress trying to encircle. According to the Ukrainian military forces, they have repelled about 90 Russian attacks in the northeast and east over the past 24 hours. Western officials have also said that Russia had planned an offensive to capture new territory ahead of the anniversary. UN says it will scale up aid deliveries to Syria's rebel-held northwest. This will help millions affected by this month's catastrophic earthquake. Officials say the planned increase in aid trucks to 40 per day was inadequate to tackling the region's humanitarian crisis. Over 280 trucks have crossed the Turkish border into northwestern Syria since aid operations resumed on the 9th of February. Experts say the increase in aid is linked to the opening of additional crossings from Turkey into rebel-held Syria. The latest on the tensions in the Korean peninsula, North Korea has test-fired 4 strategic cruise missiles. According to the state media, 4 missiles flew for nearly 3 hours and hit a preset target after traveling for 2,000 kilometers. The launch came as the US and South Korea took part in tabletop exercise that focused on the nuclear threat from Pyongyang. A joint statement by the US and South Korean delegations focused their discussion on maintaining peace and stability in the Korean peninsula and considered potential options for responding to North Korea's nuclear weapons use. The death toll from a collapse at a coal mine in northern China rose to 6, with 47 missing as rescue resumes. Hundreds of rescue workers were dispatched in the remote site, but another landslide later that day temporarily halted efforts to save those trapped beneath the rubble. State media reported that the collapse had affected a wide area of the mine operated by the Xinjiang Coal Mining Company. Chinese President Xi Jinping has instructed authorities to do everything possible to search for and rescue the missing people. The United States is nominating former MasterCard CEO Ajay Banga to lead the World Bank. President Joe Biden announced the choice, crediting Banga with the critical experience on global challenges, including climate change. 63-year-old Ajay Banga is an Indian American and is currently serving as the vice chairman at equity firm General Atlantic. The news comes days after Trump appointed David Malpass had announced plans to step down in June from his role leading the 189-nation Poverty Reduction Agency. Balochistan Provincial Minister of Communication and Works has been remanded to police custody in a triple murder case. The accused minister has been handed to the crime branch on a 10-day remand by a court in Quetta. The case came to light when the bullet-ridden bodies of two men and a woman were found in a well near the minister's house in the city of Barkhan. The minister has denied allegations against him and instead accused his own son of conspiring against him to serve his political interests. To mark 1 year of the war between Ukraine and Russia, Paris lit up the Eiffel Tower in the blue and yellow colors of the Ukraine flag on Thursday. In this war, there is an aggressor and an aggressed, and the aggressor is Vladimir Putin's Russia. Paris mayor said in a speech before the illumination. Speaking in Thursday's ceremony, Ukraine's ambassador thanked France for the gesture. Bright fireworks were seen in the Russian capital on Thursday evening as a part of the events marking the Defender of the Fatherland Day. Earlier in the day, Russian President Vladimir Putin laid a wreath at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier monument in Moscow to honor the public holiday. The day celebrates the country's veterans and active servicemen and is particularly pertinent due to the special operation in Ukraine. Defender of the Fatherland Day is a public holiday throughout the Russian Federation. The Russian parliament reintroduced it as a public holiday in 2002 after renaming it as the Defender of the Fatherland Day. NASA launches an uncrewed spacecraft from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan to the ISS on Friday. The aircraft is set to dock automatically to the Piosk module on Saturday and will replace the Soyuz MS-22 spacecraft. The launch of the new spacecraft is an effort to rescue two Russian cosmonauts who were earlier stuck in space after the cooling system of the MS-22 capsule started leaking 2 months ago. The latest trouble for short video app TikTok has come from Canada, as the country has joined governments and regulators from around the world that have been scrutinizing TikTok. The European Commission is the latest organization to ban the app from its equipment, following similar moves in the United States. Now Canada is launching a joint federal and provincial investigation into TikTok over concerns about the Chinese-owned platform's collection, use and disclosure of personal information. On January the 1st, new textbooks were rolled out in Bangladesh for millions of school children between the ages of 11 and 13, featuring a segment on transgenders. The government recognized transgenders as a third gender in 2013. However, they remain marginalized in a country where same-sex sexual activity is illegal. Now the creators of the textbook hope by introducing the eminent transgender figures and the fictional story of a child who transitions, takes a female name and goes to live with a transgender community will help to nurture acceptance. Members of the Peruvian LGBT plus community took to the streets of capital Lima to demand the end of crime targeted at trans women in Peru. According to one protester, crime against trans sex workers in the area is related to illegal charges set for them by foreign mafia groups. According to local media, since the start of 2023, 6 transphobic murders have been reported across Peru. A deadly monster U.S. winter storm kept its grip on the northern plains and upper Midwest. The storm delivered heavy snow, freezing rain and gusty winds and left thousands without power and grounded hundreds of flights. According to the National Weather Service, some spots may see another 18 inches of snow, winds clocking in at 80 kilometers per hour and wind chills equivalent to minus 40 degrees Celsius throughout the day. Meteorologists further added that the growing frequency of such storms, along with the extreme weather phenomena, are symptomatic of worsening climate change. Panic and pessimism continues to haunt residents in the American state of Ohio, weeks after a train containing toxic chemicals derailed. Experts say that much remains unknown of the dangers posed to residents by the overturn. Despite these concerns, state health officials have insisted that the residents east of Palestine is a safe place to be. And they said that a plume of pollution in Ohio River is moving at 1 mile per hour. Meanwhile, according to the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, it estimates that the spill has affected more than 7 miles of streams and killed approximately 44,000 fish, mostly small, such as the minnows. In the United States of America, California's poppy fields are blooming early this year in parts of the state. Thousands of visitors flock to the Lake Elsinore each year to witness the magnificent super bloom. But those planning to visit the wild poppies of Walker Canyon are in for bad news. The area is now off limits and you could be sighted if you try to visit. Officials say the crowds became theme park-like as visitors trampled the flowers, disrupted wildlife and created a nightmare for the local residents. The world is trying to shift towards a greener future as we try to reduce our dependence on fossil fuels, yet some fossil fuel companies are still being funded by banks who continue to pollute our planet. 3 environmental organizations are suing BNP Paribas for financing the fossil fuel polluters. The lawsuit marks the first time a commercial bank has been sued over its fossil fuel lending. Moreover, environmental groups believe that suing the bank is a crucial step to prevent catastrophic global heating, as there is urgent need for the society to rapidly decarbonize. Whether you call them crayfish or crawdads, the freshwater crustacean is a prized menu item of the Cajun cuisine, but extreme weather in the southeastern United States is impacting their size. Now, according to experts, droughts and freezes can stunt the growth of the crawfish, leading their population to significantly decline. According to the Louisiana Crawfish Promotion and Research Board, farmers there produce more than 90% of the national harvest and contribute more than $300 million to the state's economy. The death toll due to Cyclone Freddy in Madagascar rises to 7. Over 68,500 people were displaced and nearly 5,000 houses were damaged. As per the United Nations Regional Meteorological Center, Cyclone Freddy is gaining strength and barreling towards mainland Africa. The strong tropical storm is expected to make landfall in Mozambique on Friday. The UN Weather Agency stated that it will lash Mozambique with potentially damaging winds. Extensive floods and heavy rains are expected in Mozambique after Cyclone Freddy makes landfall. Queen's Consort appeared for the first time since recovering from COVID along with King Charles. The royal couple hosted a reception to celebrate the second anniversary of her online book club initiative, The Reading Room. The event celebrates books from a diverse range of authors from around the world. Attendees included celebrities like Richard E. Grant and Richard Osman. Other guests included authors, members of the literary community, and representatives of literacy charities. In the hope to recover the species in Argentina, 2 jaguar cubs were born in the Argentinian National Park. The cubs, who were initially 3, were born on the 2nd of February, but unfortunately the smallest one died a few days later. For the WION Foundation, which specializes in the preservation of endangered species, the birth and survival of these 2 new cubs bolsters the bid to revert the extinction trend in the area. As of now, the foundation estimates that there are only 250 of these animals living in the wild in Argentina.